Hey guys, Metal Driver 89 here bringing you another WWE review. Today I'll be looking at the Ultimate Edition, Becky Lynch. Looking at the sides of the box, you see an image of Becky Lynch on one side, and on the other side you see her name. The back of the box features two images of Becky Lynch, which includes a toy photography image, stats, career highlights, and a description of this figure. Stats include a height of 5 feet 6 inches, from Dublin, Ireland. Finisher, disarm her. Career highlights include Raw Women's Champion and SmackDown Women's Champion. The description states, Becky Lynch wasn't born a second-generation superstar. She wasn't considered the chosen one, but she scrapped and she clawed and she fought her way to the top, all the way to victory in the first women's WrestleMania main event. That's why she's the man. Alright, now that we have looked at the box, let's go ahead and open this figure up and take a closer look at Becky Lynch. Alright, and here's Becky Lynch out of the packaging, but first, let's take a look at the accessories that she comes with. So she comes with both the Raw Women's and SmackDown Women's Championship belts, which look pretty good. They're nice and detailed. We have seen these be released before. And then she also comes with her entrance attire. So she has an entrance jacket, and then she has entrance jacket sleeves that have articulation. So I'll go more in depth with this a little bit later. And then her interchangeable hands, which are two-fisted hands, are attached to the sleeves. Then the other piece of accessory that she has is an interchangeable head sculpt, which looks pretty good. It's got this nice smiling expression. Paint came out mostly well on this one. There does seem to be a slight sloppiness on the lips, but this is nice, so this is great for her celebration pose. Her hair is a little bit messier. She's happy. So this looks really good. And then the hair looks really nice as well. It's nicely sculpted. So it's just a solid orange paint, so no shading there, or at least not that I can tell. And looking at the other head sculpt, so this turned out very well. So as you can see, her hair is pushed off to the sides. It's got these braids here. So it doesn't have any extra paint in the hair, but I think the sculpt work turned out very nice. I love the expression on her face. She looks determined, ready for a battle, and that paint came out very well. So out of the two head sculpts, I will say that this one is probably my favorite. I just like how unique it looks. Then looking at her body, so she's wearing her WrestleMania gear that she wore during her triple threat match with Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. So overall, it looks pretty decent. Looking at the pattern here, it looks okay. Seems like there's some missing paint on the chest right there, where the skin should be. Looking at the sleeves, the yellow looks pretty decent. Doesn't seem to be much in the department of mispaint. Paint came out pretty clean for the most part on that side. Then this side, pretty much the same thing. So overall, not too bad. And looking down at the lower body, so you've got the yellow lines going down the sides here. They look pretty decent. Seems like maybe some slight mispaint or missing paint there. The back is just a solid black piece. And then she does have fishnets on her legs, but these are painted. These aren't actual fishnets. Which, it would have been a nice touch had we gotten that, because I know Mattel has done that with their DCUC figures in the past. And look at the knee pads, you got the yellow going down. Then her boots, you've got the white stripes going across. So overall, not too bad looking. So the paint that she does have came out pretty well. And then before I move ahead to the entrance jacket, just to go over the articulation on the arms. So there is a hinge at the shoulder, which allows it to go that high up. She can rotate all the way around. There is a bicep swivel. She has double jointed elbows, which is a nice feature of the Ultimate Edition figures. There is a swivel at the wrist and a hinge. Then she has a diaphragm joint, which allows her to crunch that far forward, which is really good. That far back, she can tilt a bit, and she can twist at the waist. Alright, and here's Becky Lynch with her entrance jacket on. So it looks really good. So in order to get this jacket on, you're going to have to pop off the arms, which is actually pretty simple. They came off really easily. And then you pop on the sleeved arms here. And this looks really good. Now, I have stated this before in my previous Ultimate Edition reviews that had these plastic jackets, that I do prefer a soft goods jacket. However, I do think this is a nice alternative. Much better than the plastic jackets that hinder articulation. Instead, they give us a molded sleeve that has articulation. So as you can see, she has the full double jointed elbow there. There's a bicep swivel at the wrist, and a hinge. So looking at the jacket, it's nice and detailed. It's got some good texture around the jacket, so that looks good. Down the back it says, I am the man. So it does look like they only used one coat of paint there, so it could have used probably a second one to make the paint look better. But overall, it looks pretty good. The yellow paint on the sleeves came out well on the sides of the jacket. There's some extra paint here by the elbow. But other than that, it looks good, nice texture. And then the head is on a ball joint, so it can go not too far down due to the hair. It doesn't go high up at all, but it can twist side to side, and it can tilt. And then the figure does still have a really good ab crunch despite the jacket being there, so it does not hinder the articulation. She is able to go that far back, and the figure still retains its waist swivel. The legs are on a ball joint, so it can go that far out. It can go that high up, which isn't too high. There is a thigh cut, double jointed knees, which does seem to be slightly hindered by this knee pad. There is a cut at the top of the boot. The ankle has a hinge, so it can go that high up, that far down. There is some pretty good ankle pivot, and there is toe articulation. Do want to point out that my figure has some really loose ankle joints, so that does kind of suck because it's going to be hard for me to actually stand this figure up. However, fortunately for me, I do know how to fix this, so it won't be too big of an issue. However, that is a bit of a QC problem on mine. Hopefully that's not an issue on the rest of the figures and it's just my figure. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on the Ultimate Edition Becky Lynch figure? I think this is a really good figure. As I said many times, I'm a big fan of the Ultimate Edition line. I haven't really been disappointed. Now, mine did have a few QC problems, but they were really minor. Just a couple bad paint apps there, but nothing too major. But that is to be expected with pretty much any figure that you get. It's really hard to come by a figure that has 100% perfect paint apps. And then the ankles on my Becky Lynch were a bit loose, but again, I'm able to fix that, so it's not the biggest issue for me. I love the Ultimate Edition line. I love what they're doing. I love the added articulation, the added accessories. So I think this is a really great Becky Lynch figure. If you're a fan of Becky Lynch, you're definitely going to want to pick this up. So if you like this review, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe so you can see more WWE reviews. As always, stay tuned till the end to see pictures of this figure in action. And I'll see you next time.